Good morning and welcome to this new podcast. Today we are going to talk about working in Italy. We imagine that many of you will be worried about how to find a good job once you arrive in Italy. We well understand this concern and therefore we want to explain some aspects that will help you to better understand how the labor market in Italy works. First of all, it's important to say that the labor market in Italy and in Europe in general works very differently from the labor market in the country you come from or lived in. We know that work is not only a means of being able to support yourself and your family, but it's also a way of being able to form relationships and friendships and of being able to fully integrate in the country where you have gone to live. Once in Italy, the operators who will welcome you will show you exactly what step to take in order to find a job. Remember, however, that they will not find you a job. Only you have the skills and competencies to convince an employer that you are the right worker for him or her. Here, we just want to give you a general idea and some tips. First of all, the first basic element for finding a job is a good knowledge of Italian language. During your first period in Italy, you will have to concentrate hard on studying and practicing this language. The operators will help you find language courses, and we recommend that you attend several language courses at the same time of at least 4 hours a day. Try to use the Italian language as much as possible, even if at first it will be difficult and you will feel frustrated or embarrassed. Try to watch TV programs in Italian, read in Italian, use Italian in your daily tasks, at the supermarket, in offices, to chat with neighbors, to ask for information. Doing voluntary work initially will also be a great way to practice and learn the language, alongside studying, of course. At churches or associations, there is often the possibility of joining voluntary groups that are involved in social activities. Example, activities with children or distributing food to the homeless, or companionship and care for the elderly. In addition to learning the language, you will make friends and relationships, which may also be useful for finding a job, and you will feel useful and less alone. But back to work. Another important element in finding a job in Italy is to have a clear and well thought out career goal. Many of you will certainly have extensive work experience in your home country or in other countries where you have lived. This is certainly a good starting point. However, it's important that you know that the same job can be done differently in another country. Take, for example, the job of a baker. In other countries, bread is different from Italian bread, and a baker may be an expert in baking local bread but not in Italian bread. This is why you need to gain experience in Italy and learn the different baking techniques. In this case, you can follow a training course as a baker, which teach you the baking techniques used in Italy, or do an apprenticeship. Training apprenticeships. It can be very useful to do a training apprenticeship. This allows you to do a period of work from a few months to a year while receiving a small financial compensation, as the main objective is to learn the new job and its techniques. The internship is a kind of practical school that takes place in any company. In Italy, most people who are looking for a job for the first time do traineeships. Gaining work experience in Italy will be an advantage for you and will help you to have a better chance of getting a job. An internship will also help you practice the Italian language in a more formal setting, help you learn job-specific words, and help you learn the rules of working in Italy, which may be different from those in your own country. Did you know, for example, that in Italy, when you go for a job interview, it's a good habit to look the recruiter in the eyes, whether he is a man or a woman? In many other countries, however, looking into the eyes of a person who is interviewing you might be disrespectful, especially if a man looks into the eyes of a woman. There are many cultural differences that you may not initially understand and may be disorientating. For any difficulties, speak openly to the operators within your reception. They will be able to help and orient you. Let us continue with our examples of type of jobs that are not immediately employable in the Italian labor market and that require some adaptation on your part. There are some jobs, such as driver or lorry driver, that require a driving license. If you already have one in your country, unfortunately, it will most likely not be recognized in Italy and you will have to get another one. And it may take you a while before you get an Italian driving license because first you will have to have learned good Italian because the exam will be in Italian. There will be among you people who were traders in their country and would like to open a new business in Italy. This is certainly possible, but not easy. First of all, you need to have a large sum of money, much money that would have been sufficient in your country for the same activity. Also, there is one very important thing to know. In Italy, there is a lot of bureaucracy. To open any business, you need various permits and you have to comply with a lot of rules. Anyone who does not comply with these rules risks having their business shut down and thus losing all the money they have invested. For this reason, before embarking on such a path, it's important to have an excellent knowledge of the Italian business environment. And for this, it takes time as well as an excellent knowledge of the language. How then do you find work in Italy? The first secret, as we have told you, is to try to learn Italian as quickly as possible so that you can speak your best during job interviews. Without Italian, you will not be able to make a possible employer understand that you are the right worker for him or her because you are capable, experienced, and want to prove yourself. Another important piece of advice is do not expect to find your dream job immediately or the same job you had before coming to Italy. Agree to start with small work experiences, perhaps not perfectly in line with your skills. You will have time to find a better and more suitable job. In the beginning, however, the very important thing is to start working because this will enable you to understand the labor market better and from the inside. Improving your job situation when you are already working is much easier. And by getting to know you better, your employer may also decide to offer you a new, more qualified role, more in line with your skills. Women and work. Now let's focus for a moment on women and the world of work. We know that some women may never have worked before coming to Italy. Perhaps some women in their own country took care of the family and children. Unfortunately, the cost of living in Italy is high, and it's often necessary for both adults in a family to work. In Italy, most women work and are economically independent from their family of origin. This may generate difficulties and necessitate adjustments within your family. If you are a single mother, you will have to find a balance between family life and work life. It will not be easy, but in Italy, children can start going to school even when they are very young. At around 6 months of age, they can be enrolled in the middle. Generally, schools in Italy start at 8 a.m. and end at 4 p.m. For a husband, it may initially be difficult to get used to his wife working and earning money independently. Sometimes it may even happen that the wife finds work before her husband. We advise you to talk about this within your family. This may represent a big change that you have to be ready for as a couple. It may be difficult and frustrating at first. Remember that you will not be alone in this journey. You can count on the support of the operator and many specialized structures with which the operators will put you in contact. But who will make the difference in this quest will be you alone. With your motivation and constant commitment, everything will depend on the tenacity with which you strive to achieve your goal.